Well, hello my beautiful Taurians, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for April 2024. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about to pretend to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings. I do not take your money, e-gifts, donations. I'm not on Facebook, WhatsApp, PayPal, Telegram, or Patreon. I will never ask you for your credit card details. I'll never ask for personal details. I'll also never give you a cell phone number to call. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. I'm going to cleanse your space hourly, so please be mindful there's going to be 3 loud sounds. Let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Taurians, this is your monthly reading for April. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome. And of course, April is a very big and serious month. We can all feel it collectively, but let's really break it down just to see why it is without causing any fear and mass panic. Now, we have, of course, moved into Aries season, and that's all about passion, being driven, ambition, and focusing with intensity on your goals to go out there and achieve whatever it is you set out to do. So you're going to be very organized and very productive during this time. So on a personal level, it's actually really positive. But yes, there is a total solar eclipse for the USA and a partial solar eclipse for other countries. And the last time the US had a total solar eclipse was in 2017, and it was in the sign of Leo, which is of course ruled by the sun itself. Now, we all saw the drama of 2017 unfold, especially politically. Egos took center stage and major changes like we've never seen before were set in motion. Now, eclipses are here to shake things up, and the ancient astrologers considered them foreboding energy, bringing major and often uncomfortable change. And you've got a tower right here, so there are some major restructures going on in your environment right now, but I feel, there is a positive energy coming out there at the other side. We'll go one more just to see what it is covered by there. But I want you to be aware that this eclipse, it will be no different. It will occur in the sign of Aries, however. Specifically, it's going to be placed on the knot of discord, which tends to deliver karmic retribution. So we'll see on a global scale many exposés coming to light after this period, clandestine scandals revealed, revelations where people have been mistreated or abused in cover-ups. On a global scale, as I mentioned, wherever humanity has been taken advantage of or where whistleblowers have been punished in order to silence them, the truth and justice shall prevail. Okay, so this is really a period that sets things in motion for the curtain to really truly fall on it all and reveal everything in its cold, ugly, harsh reality. Okay, now I want you to be aware that the placements of this eclipse, or eclipses in general, they really matter. Aries is actually an energy that is very hot, impulsive, and combative. It's ruled by Mars, the planet of war. Now, this does not mean that we're heading in that direction. However, we are already seeing some shifts that can lead to potential conflicts further down the line. And I'm not here to spread fear or, do clickbait or anything like that. I'm here to be really honest and direct and highlight what is to be expected and what we can prepare for. And we already see some countries declaring the return of conscription to prepare for potential conflict. So, at the moment, it looks like people are preparing in order to protect their current countries or their environments. Now, why are there lots of warnings from various sources regarding this particular eclipse? Well, let's be really practical first, shall we? In 2017, of course, people rushed to see the eclipse in various places, and certain places saw an influx of people searching for the best view, and this meant that population increased in certain areas that were not used to that many people. So grocery stores, gas stations, etc., they ran out of stock due to that increase. Also, an increase in cell phone activity in rural areas jammed their grid, and internet was impossible to connect to. So that's a practical aspect as to why people are being told to prepare at this moment in time. Now, I'm not saying that someone is not going to use this as a distraction for their advantage during this period. However, I just want you to be aware that, there is a practical reason why people are preparing at this time. Now, let's look at spiritually and historically why people are concerned about this particular eclipse. I did a little bit of research there to find out what's going on there. And, firstly, it has many connotations to biblical events. Now, this particular eclipse, it passes through Jonah and 7 cities called Nineveh, which is connected to the biblical story of Jonah and the whale, when Jonah was saved by a sea monster, which is often referred to as a whale. So why is this actually relevant? Well, the sun's position will be directly placed in the constellation Cetus during this eclipse, and astrologically, Cetus is considered the sea monster or the whale. So there are some correlations in terms of the energy there when it comes to what's going on right now. And Nineveh, of course, it was an ancient city that was up to no good and is now associated with repentance for wrongdoings. So spiritually, some people are concerned and cautious about the significance of the aftermath of this eclipse, especially with the connotation and connection to the collapse of an empire. So my point is, eclipses, they can generate fear, and people look for omens in this. Now, of course, it is odd to have extra services deployed to guard during this period, but let's face it, this could be a distraction where, places are more vulnerable during this time. And, extreme behavior can happen during this period as well, because if eclipses, they actually affect energy. So let me just get all these cards for you, because you did get a lot there. I can see you're really exhausted right now. You're kind of fed up with the way things have been going. I definitely see that you're walking away from many things that have been causing disruption for you. I definitely see some independence here as well. I'm just going to get all of these cards. I mean, you've got them all. You might as well have had the whole deck, my beautiful Taurians, because you've been going through it all right now. But I do see some balance and some really good positive energy coming your way, some good luck there, because your last card is the Wheel of Fortune. So there are some really exciting things, but you've got a lot going on right now. And this card, it kind of slotted itself in here as a card that, it was meant to be in this position, but I'm being told by my guides to leave it in the position that it slotted itself into. So some of you have been concerned about finances. This could be due to global events. Some of you are looking at collapses of the financial system, things like that. So I feel like you're in a protective energy where you're just keeping an eye on things. But let me just get back to, the eclipses and how they can change our energy, because eclipses, they are akin to a tower moment, which brings in change, reconstruction, and liberation for second chances. So actually it can be really positive. We are going to see a collapse of long-standing institutions, people in long-standing positions of power stepping down or being forced to resign. Also eclipses, some of you with the tower there, some of you are thinking about going to view the eclipse in a certain area or place. Make sure that you do it safely with the right glasses, all of the stuff, but this period, it can influence energy and seismic shifts. So there is that. There may be an increase in volcanic activity and earthquakes during this time. The earth moves all the time, of course, but because of this eclipse, there is a higher potential to have significantly more powerful eruptions or shifts. And most notably, and I don't like to mention this, but I have to because I'm being drawn to it, we may see some sort of activity from now, and I'm not saying the 8th in particular, but from now, we may see some activity in the New Madrid seismic zone, as the planetary alignments are in the same position as they were in 1811, when there was a lot of seismic activity. In fact, a major earthquake during that period that was very destructive. And of course, we have the devil-horned comet passing by as well, and that also occurred in 1811 into 1812. So there are some similarities going on there. So I'm only mentioning this because of the path of totality during this eclipse, it moves through this area on the 8th of April. So it may affect that region in some way. And of course, to top it all off, this doom and gloom, but it's not really doom and gloom. It does mean that there are some changes that are afoot to expose things so that we can right the wrongs and really get back on track as humanity, not just in terms of like personal events. But to top it off, of course, Mercury is in retrograde. So it's really going to put everybody in a bit of a spin in around that date. We may see some electronic interference, so save down any important work, download financial statements in cases of, glitches in the system. Also check your spam folder, as important mail tends to get lost during this time. If you can help it, make sure things are not meant to be delivered during this period as well, because they may just get a little bit lost. But also, I would say watch out for misunderstandings during the next coming weeks, because this is a prime time for people to misunderstand you. Try to get everything in writing as well for yourself as proof. And on a personal level, actually this time, this eclipse, it can be very positive because it sees you breaking away from control to march to the beat of your own drum, embracing more independence, putting your health first, and making sure you align yourself with your true north. Aries energy stands for establishing yourself and your personal needs. You'll have more energy and motivation to harness that go-getting spirit to transform your life and create more opportunity for success in all areas of your life. And also Chiron, the wounded healer, makes itself known, so you can make progress in your health during this time. If you have been struggling or suffering with something or trying to overcome some sort of battle that you've been having, you will see progress in that area as well. Now, your first card there is the Hermit energy. So some of you may feel like withdrawing from all of the madness, okay? Some of you may go off grid to focus on projects, but ultimately this is going to be a very soul-searching month for you, because your 12th house is also influencing you during this time. Now, your 12th house really connects to this card. It's the deepest part of your chart, so you may feel a little bit more sensitive than usual. You may feel it's time to connect to your higher self, withdraw and connect more to a spiritual path. Really think about developing a deeper sense of meaning and awareness in your everyday circumstances. You'll also receive important messages during this period for your personal growth. Now, these could be messages from loved ones who have passed on. You may get signs or omens from them. Also, it can be that you're having revelations about yourself and how you like to lead your life and how you are disconnecting from anybody's expectations upon you. Also, you may feel like focusing on important projects. Maybe some of you have been very busy during this period and you're just yearning for a break. So I definitely see you trying to relax or recharge your batteries and also implement better self-care routines. Also I'm getting some of you may be desiring to go on a spiritual retreat or even delve in spiritual practices this time. But also I see that you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge. Naturally, you're very gifted and very wise. You may have come into this lifetime and been told from the very beginning that you're an old soul. You tend to not be impressed by much. And I feel, some of you are trying to find a better way to reestablish your power, but you're making some major restructures, or I get a sense of decluttering going on. It's almost like a lot of the signs right now are going through a spring clean. No matter what season you're in right now, I definitely get a sense here that you're shifting things, decluttering body, mind, and soul, but you're trying to make your home your sanctuary there as well. Now, with the Hermit energy, some of you are thinking about the solitary nature of being, how independent you are, how you don't need anybody, but you also want to find your soul tribe, even though you're self-sufficient. I definitely see some of you, if you're in a single energy and you're looking for love, I feel there is, an interesting surprise encounter coming in. And with the Ten of Wands, though, and the Four of Cups, I feel this person, there's something that is about this person that they just feel like they don't tick all the boxes, and you're not settling for second best. So I feel like you could meet someone. It feels very much like the second person you meet. There is a deeper connection, and that is love, and you may actually move towards that. So if you are looking for love, there is love coming in. It's going to be by surprise, but it feels very much like there's someone that you may be kind of interested in, or there's a bit of chemistry there, but you're like, it's not it. And I feel then there's someone else coming in there as well. But the Hermit energy, along with the Four of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles, A lot of you are withdrawing in the month of April to really look at your plans and to see if there's reciprocity. You're going to be looking at the things that have been working for you, things that have not been working for you. And the Hermit energy, as you can see, that Hermit is reaching for a star, reaching for a wish, trying to get clarity. It's been a long, dark tunnel. You've been under a lot of pressure and you're just wondering, when can you catch a break? So I feel some of you are on a quest for personal truth, spiritual illumination, and you're going within. But also some of you are kind of going off grid in order to focus on a project or a goal, and you don't want any distractions. Also, some of you are looking at the patterns that have been repeating in your life. Now, these could be patterns that, people come along, underestimate you, undervalue you, or you even undersell your gifts in some way, and you're trying to come out of a bad habit in some way. For some of you, it could be that you've been struggling with investing in a friendship because there's no reciprocity and you're evolving from this friendship and it's time to let it go, or to let it just sort of drift until such time as that person realizes that actually you're not taking their BS anymore. For some of you, it could be that you are just wanting to get away from it all. You want a break. So some of you may take like a quick trip abroad or just out of town, or even just take like a duvet day. So what I mean by that is that you're just like, today I'm just going to spend the day either in bed watching a movie, or I'm just going to like poodle around the house and just be like, yeah, it's just me living on my own terms and enjoying my own company. And I feel this is very much at the beginning of the month for you, because your 7th house takes over from that. And that's more about partnerships, people in your everyday circumstances, deepening those alliances or partnerships. Some of you may even think about starting up a business with those people. Or you're becoming an entrepreneur and you're going to find your soul tribe, people who really vibe with you, clients who want what it is that you have to offer. So I definitely get a sense here of you being a little bit more sociable at the end of April, okay? So the 4 of Swords is like almost a card of, I want to be alone. I just want to have some peace and quiet, because you may have felt with the Emperor energy that you've had a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. You've been really busy. You have lots of tasks. And the 4 of Swords is to just take a pause, okay? But it's to get clarity. So some of you are exhausted with that 10 of Wands there. You're just fed up and really like almost burnt out because you've had a lot on your plate. So I definitely see that you are recharging your batteries at this time. Some of you have been feeling really restless and have been noticing that either anxiety about what's going on in the world has really been infiltrating, and you're like, fed up with all this clickbait, or you're fed up with feeling that you always have to be like ready to act or be in that fight or flight mode. And it doesn't have to just be about the world at large. It can be that some of you, you're really looking at traumatic experiences that you had, where you have always been in that fight or flight mode. For some of you, it could be that you've always had to be the responsible person in your family unit or your upbringing in some way, or you were someone who was just given responsibility, like you had to grow up really quickly, and you've always been in that fight or flight mode, taking care of everybody, and you're like, you know what? I want to take care of me right now. So I really get this sense of wanting to withdraw and just recharge. Also, the 4 of Swords is a card of meditation. So there's this energy when you get the Hermit, and I never really looked at the Hermit in this way, but I'm getting the sense of like wanting to blend into the background. So some of you, it's like if you've made some, decisions to go to certain events, when they appear, it may have been a great idea at the time, like, yeah, let's meet up, let's catch up for that drink. And then suddenly the date is looming and you're like, oh, I wish I never said I would go out to catch up, because actually I just want some time alone. So some of you may really prioritize your time and say, actually, you know what, I would love to catch up, but I've changed my mind, or I just need a bit of a rest. And I feel like you're going to be really honest and own it and say, you know what, I really want to see you, but right now circumstances have been really difficult and I just want some time to get organized in my life, and let's reschedule. Because I feel like, you're rescheduling. You're not actually just canceling, is what I see there. Now, also the 7 of Pentacles is really about checking in with yourself. This is a card of, really opening yourself up to new strategies. You're at a bit of a crossroads in your life and you need to make some decisions, and you're contemplating whether you continue as you are, or whether you change your tune in some way. I feel like you are reimagining something that you do already. So I feel like you're not giving up on something. You may be reimagining it or revamping it in a way where you breathe a fresh new life into it, and it just feels a little bit more exciting again. This is a card where you're having the courage to really admit when something is no longer for you, whether that's a friendship, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a partnership, a business endeavor, or an idea, or even an environment. You're like really looking at things from a perspective of, am I happy? And if you're not, I definitely see that you're making some changes. Now, the Seven of Pentacles also is a card of investing in your health and really making sure that, what you put in, you become almost. And that is across the board. It's not just food substances. It's also about what you absorb in your everyday circumstances, So if you are constantly, bamboozled by clickbait, which I really feel like you're not, my beautiful Taurians, I feel like, you're highly aware of what you put into your body and how it affects you and the energy. So I feel some of you are really looking at, staying away from certain clickbaits because, whatever you read that gives you a heightened sense of fear, is just draining your energy, and it actually distracts you from your true purpose. There's a lot out there that is currently very distractive, and I really get the sense that you're trying to focus on the details of something in the month of April, and you don't want any distractions. So, especially when you're falling asleep, because the Four of Swords can indicate that some of you have been having insomnia or problems sleeping recently, and you're just trying to get some quiet time. But the Seven of Pentacles is really like, what are you listening to before bed? What are you thinking about before bed? Are these things that are like worrying you? Are these things that perhaps are not good for you? Like, I go through a period of like making sure that I just cut off all my electronic gadgets and keep them to the side, and then have a decent night's sleep when I can finally sleep. And I try to think of things that I want to manifest for the future, visualizing myself in scenarios where I feel like I have what I desire in the now, because I'm not telling the universe that I want these things, because then the universe just hears that I don't have these things. So visualize yourself living the life that you aspire to now, like it is a memory of something that you've just experienced. It tells the universe, this is how I'm living life right now, and the universe sends you more of that. But also it's about changing your vibrations and being positive for all that you have right now. Even if what you have right now is not what you're hoping for, or is not a lot, that energy of gratitude, it's easier said than done, I know, because many, many years ago, I lost everything, right? I lost my job. I lost the home that I was living in. I lost almost my health as well. I lost myself completely. And it was really hard to remain positive. Believe me, it gets to a point where you're like, you know what? This stuff does not work. But once you actually just stand very still and say, actually, I'm believing in me, and I'm being positive that I'm here right now having this experience, and what can I take? What is the lesson from this experience? Suddenly everything changes, and the universe actually shows up and delivers opportunities that you were hoping for. And there is something to it. I totally stand by it because I've experienced it myself. But I feel also you're looking at, because sometimes I also go through periods where, I want to know what's going on in the world. And, I may watch something, not news substances. I mean, who watches the news anymore? Probably nobody. But, we always find a way of finding out what's going on. And sometimes, I may listen to something that is very informative, but also can raise anxiety. And that last thing before bed is not good, because that's the energy you're actually falling into a deeper vibration with. And, it can actually amplify those feelings of, anxiety, or feeling like in fight or flight mode when you wake up the next day. Sometimes we can have a full night's sleep and wake up like exhausted, and it can be the product of what you were listening to or absorbing the night before. Things like scary movies as well. I love a scary movie, right? and I'm not going to stop watching them, but I'll make sure that I watch them either with other people or watch them way before I'm about to go to bed. So I always make a point of watching something really positive or fun before I go to bed because it raises vibrations. So some of you are looking at sleeping patterns during the month of April. And also the Seven of Pentacles is an interesting card because it means you're looking at your savings plans and your repayment plans, pensions, and all the hard work that you're investing in things. This is about you working really hard, and you may feel like there's no reward right now. And some of you, you may be noticing that people don't work as hard as you and they get rewards, and you're like, what's this about? So I feel like there needs to be a bit more of a fair readdress, and it is coming for you there as well, because some of you have been feeling a little bit stuck, but the path is about to be cleared for you to make more progress. Now, the Devil card in the resistance position, it indicates some of you are looking at where you may procrastinate. You tend to be a very busy person, so I feel you need to be very aware that when you're taking a break, sometimes it's like, and don't shoot the messenger when I say this, when you take a break, my beautiful Taurians, sometimes you feel guilty for taking a break. It's almost like you feel maybe you're procrastinating, but actually you're not. You work really hard. You're always invested in whatever it is that you do, whether it's a project, whether it's work, whether it's friendships or environments or caring for your family. Sometimes you need a break, okay? And I feel some of you are workaholics out there, or you're always, offering up your services to help other people. And that's really commendable, but sometimes you need some time for yourself. But I get this sense of needing to be busy. And, sometimes when we need to be busy or channel energy into always being busy, it means we're trying to avoid something else. So I feel some of you are really like sitting with your thoughts in the month of April. I'm trying to give you an example. Like when I went through a really bad breakup, it was kind of round about the time that I lost everything as well. I'd always been on the go. Busy, and I was channeling everything into my goals, trying to make stuff work. Also, when I went through a breakup, I started like doing a lot of painting, and it was very cathartic getting everything out, but I was always doing, so that I almost wasn't sitting with my thoughts. And then suddenly, it was like the surrender moment where I was like, I've got to really think about this. Otherwise, I'm going to have things repeat in my life. So some of you are really like sitting with your thoughts in order to get closure on situations and, not avoid things. It's almost like wherever you've been feeling stuck in your world, you're actually going to liberate yourself, because the Devil card, it's not an evil card. It's actually a card that highlights where you need to liberate yourself, where you need to release control or release something that has control over you. So it could be something that's tempting. For example, if you are, trying to eat healthily, why is it suddenly we decide I'm going to eat healthily today? I'm not going to have anything that's naughty. And then suddenly those cravings are amplified. But if you were not, deciding to cut things out or limit things, perhaps the craving wouldn't be so high. So it's really like looking at areas in your life where you feel something has a grip or hold over you and you're releasing it. So it could be like a toxic environment that you're working in, or, a relationship that's abusive, or a partnership that has a power imbalance and you feel there's a lot of discord there. With the Devil card in this position, it's in the resistance position, which means you're breaking free. Okay, so if you've been under a lot of pressure, because the main energy I've got here is if you've been under a lot of pressure, I feel like you're having a month where you're getting a break or you're catching your breath in some way. And we do have the King and Queen of Pentacles. It's really interesting. I didn't notice that card, I saw it slot in here, but the King and Queen of Pentacles there together, of course, are a couple. So it can indicate that for some of you, with the Judgment card, some of you are thinking or are tempted to get back with somebody who reaches out for you in the month of April. And this person, they really didn't make as much effort in the relationship as perhaps you would have liked, or they seem to not be looking to settle down in the same way. You may feel this person's not reliable, they're a little bit wishy-washy, they have unrealistic expectations, and it just doesn't seem to work out. No matter how much you both love each other and try to make it work, it just feels like it doesn't work. There's a bit of jealousy at the bottom of this relationship, I have to say. This person feels a little bit intimidated by your magnetic attractive power, and I feel some of you, there may be some sort of discrepancy. This is really weird that's coming through, but I have to mention it because it's coming through. Some of you, you may be earning more than your partner in terms of finances, and it's been a bit of a bone of contention in some way. I actually feel that you both have like a really honest, open conversation about how it makes you feel, and I definitely see that things get resolved there, okay? Now, also, for some of you, with the King and Queen of Pentacles in this position, I mean, the King of Pentacles is your energy. It's a Taurian card, okay? So some of you could be dealing with another Taurian or a Virgo because we have the Queen of Pentacles there. But some of you, you could be trying to save for a home or trying to save up to be in, a home with your partner. So things may have been difficult. Also with the Judgment card, some of you have been almost like... now, again, don't shoot the messenger when I say this. It's like you've been working really hard and, you have been trying to save, but because, the way that the world is at the moment, I feel it's really hard to save because there's an increase in products that we use day to day and everything seems to be increasing. Service providers, district bills, all of the things are increasing and the wages are not. So some of you have been a bit worried and trying not to think about it, but I feel this month you actually get really serious and clear about budgets and really get everything in order, okay? Also, I feel some of you are thinking about a business partnership. If you're in a business partnership already, you may feel that you're doing a little bit more work than the other person. But I see that, this person is thinking about breaking away from the partnership, actually, and you may establish yourself as going solo. You may be a little bit worried about this, but actually it's going to be the best thing for everybody. I feel like you're going to thrive and the business is actually going to take a turn for the better because this person, it's like this person was weighing you down, but this person's actually going to leave. I mean, they may think that they are surprising you, but actually I feel like intuitively you knew that already. Now also, I feel some of you, if you're in a connection right now, you've just met somebody, you may be wondering if it's love or lust, but I feel, that you and this person, you're actually really serious about each other, but just haven't hinted that or indicated that you're taking things to the next stage. I feel like, you will. I feel this person is, destined to be on your path, but I mean, in terms of your own personal energy, whether you're in a relationship or not, I feel this is you, thinking about security and worrying about security. But I see that, you're going to be in the right place at the right time. And although you're sort of worried about things, you're going to see that actually you're going to be financially independent. And I feel, there is better to come because I feel some of you, you've been really overwhelmed or overloaded or burnt out and you just keep on moving forward, and that's really admirable. But sometimes we need to just take a breath, take a break in order to know which way is up and then get a clearer and different perspective, almost like a bird's eye view of things, and see that actually things are going to be heading in the right direction. Now also we have the Judgment card. Anything that's in the resistance position, it will go into the upright. So I definitely see that you're looking at habits that perhaps you've got into that you probably want to break away from in the month of April. It's almost like a big spring clean for your life in general is what I see. And with the Judgment card, I feel like some of you may have been distracted over the last couple of months regarding your true north, and you're getting back on track. I feel with the Judgment card, you're really making a final decision on something, or you're having a bit of a wake-up call regarding a person or a situation, and the Tower is coming in for you because it means it's actually really positive because we've got the Devil card present. The Devil card is to be bound to something toxic or something that is unwanted or is negative or just trying to control you, and the Tower is the liberation, the breaking point. So it's you releasing something that you feel is unwanted in your life. Now, this could be if, for example, you've been struggling with your health, you may pinpoint something that has been triggering you. For some of you, for example, it could be like if you've been going through the menopause and you've been getting like hot flashes and things like that, you may be trying to get it under control and finally pinpoint something that's going to either help you or pinpoint something that has been triggering you. Because I get a sense here that across the board, not just people who are going through menopause, I feel like you are looking at things that trigger you and really take away your peace of mind. And you're really trying to limit drama and try and find an easier way to live and find balance is what I see there. But the Judgment card, along with these cards that will go into the upright, I see some of you really connecting to your true life's purpose and increasing your money. You're actually attracting more wealth. But there may have been a period where that has not been happening and it's been making you feel a little bit nervous. For some of you, you may have been working really hard in a working environment and thinking you're unappreciated or going unnoticed. And suddenly, out of the blue, a new role, like a promotion, is being offered to you. And you may actually see two roles being offered. One is more money than the other. But it's almost like, let me just describe it, right? Say if we have job A and job B, right? Job A, it's less money, but there will be greater increases in this role later on. And there is room to staircase. But job B is, more money, but it plateaus and it doesn't go higher than that. And I feel like you may, if you step into this particular role, you'll be in it for a while, but you may actually find it a little bit dull or boring. And, it's secure. Don't get me wrong, it's secure. But I feel like part of you may have wished that you took job A. So I feel like you're going to have a choice. So if you're looking for a job right now or you're putting your resume out there to find alternative options, I feel like there's two coming in and you will have a choice. You're going to work really hard in both of them, okay? One of them I feel is more a leadership position of a group of people or a sector. And I feel that, there's this energy of the one that is more money. It's secure and it's more money, but it may not feel rewarding. And I feel this energy of you wanting to make your mark or establish yourself and increase your reputation within the field that you're working in. Some of you, if you are looking to increase your finances, I see you launching an entrepreneurship. You have the Emperor there. So that tells me that you're naturally gifted and established in whatever it is that you do, and that actually you will be noticed for what you do. So if you're launching something, I feel like you're trying to gauge the right time to do it. And the Hangman there tells me that you may wait until that right time. So it's almost like if you do a little soft launch, it will go nicely, but it won't be the big kind of like, da-da, there's my business, I'm on the scene kind of energy that you're hoping for. But when you launch it for real, like the big launch, then it's when it really takes off. And I feel it's going to be very successful there as well. On a personal level, I feel some of you may have been having some pressure in the family unit or some like out of balance kind of energy recently. And there may be even someone that you really kind of like get a bit fed up with, or you judge this situation. You feel that they are causing problems just for the sake of causing problems. But I actually feel this person, they're really stuck and really feeling like frustrated with their life. And that's no excuse, but I feel like they're taking something out on you because they feel like they can trust you. And again, I don't like that energy because that's not a healthy energy. But I feel like they are lashing out because they're showing you how unhappy they are, but they want you to help. So I'm just getting that energy coming through. I feel like you may be asked for advice by somebody in your family unit who is really struggling. And for some of you, if you're a parent, this could be a teenager, because I'm seeing this lashing out kind of energy. It could be like a toddler, terrible twos, that sort of energy as well. But I'm getting someone who's really bolshy and really struggling with something. But once you have this open, honest discussion and kind of let them know that they're in a safe place, safe environment, that they do not need to act up in that way, they kind of like look at you with a different perspective, almost like they realize, you know, when you go through teenage years, like I was like an awful teenager. I didn't know what was going on, my emotions, my hormones, everything was going crazy. I felt also like I was not enough. I was also being bullied. There was just so much going on that I just didn't know where I was. And my poor folks, they were kind of like, what is this? You know, they didn't know how to deal with it. And as I got older, I started to realize actually they're on my side. They were trying to guide me because they've been through experiences that, of course, I'd never been through. So if you're a parent right now, I feel like you may have a child that's been acting up and they haven't sort of realized that you're on their side, and it's turbulent, but things are going to get easier. And actually, the month of April is a catalyst month for things becoming a little bit more streamlined. And, you know, I feel like things will settle down. So that's coming out there as well. Now, I will pull a card on this Tower moment because with so many pentacles in your chart, I definitely see that you're keeping a close eye on the economic market or on the job market or even on your pensions if you're retired. You're keeping a close eye on your finances and making sure that you protect everything that you worked really hard for, because you have the protector right here. The Emperor is to protect everything that you have worked really hard to secure in your life. So you may be keeping a close eye on the world at large, or on, you know, I mean, if you're in stocks and shares, I don't know anything about that, but it's very volatile at this moment. So I would say there may be a large dip coming, is what I see. Of course, the market goes up and down all the time. That's what it does. That's its purpose. But I feel some of you are really looking at that during this time. And I feel, you know, you may be a little bit disappointed that things go in a bit of a dip, but with the Emperor present, I feel like you safeguard yourself against that in some way as well. But let me pull a card on the Tower, because the Tower is basically liberating yourself from a stuck situation. Some of you, especially with all these pentacles, you're like, does things get better than this? Because you may feel like you've plateaued in some area of your life. You may feel things are dull, boring, same, and you just want a little bit more excitement, but you want the right kind of excitement. So I feel some of you are restructuring your lifestyle in general just to reestablish your power, but also bring a little bit more fun into your life, because the Emperor energy can tell me that actually you've got a lot on your plate. You feel a lot of responsibility on you right now, and the pressure is on. And if you don't get the rest that you require, there is going to be a breaking point. And with that Ten of Wands, I feel like there is this energy of breaking point coming in. So let me just have a look at that. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please clarify for my beautiful Taurians, what do they need to know? Can you please guide them for their highest good? Ten of Swords. Something that has been highly pressured or volatile or, you know, difficult is coming to an end. You know, Ten of Swords is like, it may be a difficult or painful ending of something, but it is coming to that end, which means there is a brighter day. You know, these two cards are literally liberation. So this Tower is working for you, not against you. For some of you, you know, if you're in the career environment, you may hear of a sudden, redundancy, or you may hear that someone in a position of power is suddenly exiting. You know, I see the redundancy or someone being pushed. They are like in a position of power is what I see. And it may come as a bit of a shock to the whole company. But if this person has been doing something dodgy behind the scenes, they're going to get caught. Remember the time period we're in. Eclipses, they expose everything. So I definitely see an expose happening here. For some of you, if you're going through a divorce, you may be really grateful that finally it's over, because it's been a bit of a difficult battle. And I mean, for some of you, you may say, never again, never going to get into a high-level commitment ever again. But the universe has other ideas for you and is ushering in a soulmate later on that is actually going to be more reciprocal. There's more passion, more love, more intensity, and actually I see you getting into another relationship there as well. Of course, it's your choice. We all have free will, but I do see something new starting up for you there as well. But ultimately, the Ten of Swords, it can indicate that some of you are working really hard to meet a deadline or to tie up loose ends before you take a vacation. But the Sun card indicates you're learning through this experience. You know, some of you may also feel very vulnerable during this time and worried about the way things are going, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel and you will reach your goal. You may have been experiencing some sort of disruptive energy, but I feel it comes to an end. And that chaotic energy, it filters filters into a more peaceful, loving environment. For some of you, you're actually leaving a neighborhood that you feel is not safe, or you don't want to be there anymore, or you're trying to move further afield. Some of you, you're watching the expose of institutions, the fall of people who've been in positions of power or who've been abusing their power in situations. This could be on a global scale, but also, the Emperor, it represents governing bodies. So some of you, you may hear some shocking news in your district or in certain political circles, for example, regarding people exiting, standing down. But also on a personal level, this is about breaking free to establish your power in a situation and be successful in any endeavors. I feel like you're fully in control, but I feel, this is a card of responsibility and being serious about making, decisions that will change your life, and you're sticking to them. So, for example, if, like me, you love sitting down with a bit of a coffee and a couple of biscuits that actually turns into a packet of biscuits, which is really unhealthy for me. And I've promised myself many, many times, I'm only going to stick with 2, and then suddenly I'm like, who ate the rest of the biscuits? Oh yeah, that's me. There's only me here. But this time it's like I'm only eating 2, and you stick to it. So if there's something in your world that you've promised yourself that you're going to do, you're sticking to it this time, and you're gonna be so proud of yourself that you did that. Okay. Now also the Emperor card is a card of moving into promotion. So if you are in a business, there's definitely promotion there available to you. Remember about the money, I feel like there could be 2 aspects of this. So just watch out for that. But also, if you're retired, for example, some of you are thinking about spiritual growth in your retirement years, really establishing or reestablishing your belief system and really feeling like where you belong. And you may actually shock some family members or, people in your everyday circumstances by making some major changes. Some of you may decide to relocate across the world, or suddenly decide to set up like a consulting business. You may actually come back into the working environment, and but it's on your own terms. I feel like you have lots of projects on your plate, so if you don't want to come out of retirement, it could be that you are really noticing patterns in your life that you want to adhere to and change in some way. And some of you may also feel a little bit lonely in this transition of retirement because your friends or family members, they may have retired at different times. So your schedules are off. So you're just doing things that are for you, which is really, freeing and very exciting. But at the same time, you'd like to have, a partner in crime to experience it with. So I definitely see that you're going to be finding your soul tribe, or actually entering into an arena where you meet new people. Now, this could be through hobbies. It could be through, sporting events or groups in the neighborhood or in your local environment in some way. I definitely see you increasing your circle, whether you're retired or not. I feel like you are, in your 7th house of partnership. So that's about, finding your soul tribe. And I feel like you definitely move towards that. Now, 8 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. 8 of Pentacles is a card that indicates it's business as usual. And I don't mean business as in just making money. I'm talking about everyday circumstances. You may have felt like you're in a cycle of repeat. And the 10 of Wands tells me that you're exhausted with it. You're hoping that there's some sort of change. And I definitely see change is happening for you, because the Wheel of Fortune, it doesn't just mean good fortune. It means changing cycles, and that things are going to get easier and better and more enjoyable. But also with the 10 of Wands there, it indicates something is ending for you because you're fed up with it, or it's run its course, or you're evolving away from it. This can be a card of a lot of stress, exhaustion, and that you're trying to manage stress levels and make sure that you are more balanced in the people that you surround yourself. It's a card of taking a break, really, and sort of freeing yourself up, lightening up as well, especially since you got the Emperor there. You have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, and this is the month to make a little bit more time for fun. The history of the Emperor card, the Emperor actually used to have a fool in the background of the card, which is a little reminder that yes, being established or really good at what you do, or being in a position of responsibility, whilst it is to some degree nice, it's also, isolating, because it feels a little bit lonely in that position. You got to do it all by yourself. And that's when life gets serious. We take on mortgages or repayment plans for cars and things like that. We try not to think about those things, but then when we do think about things like that, it starts to really freak us out or make us feel like, whoa, we got to be serious. We need to just, make some changes. But also, we need to remember to factor in fun. It is the balance in life. So if you feel that things have got a little bit stale right now, I definitely see you putting yourself out there to, have new experiences. I mean, the Eight of Pentacles does indicate that some of you may be joining groups of learning. Now, this could be like a free event in your area where you, get to know people, like a networking or, a buddying up kind of group. Or it could also be that you're learning to upskill in some way for your career. Some of you may pick up a hobby during this time that introduces you to new people. But also the Eight of Pentacles tells me that there is a small increase in your finances. So you're going to be able to save a little bit more this month. But also I feel this month for you in particular is like a spiritual development month where you're just gaining a greater understanding of who you are, what you want, what you've been putting up with for too long, and what you need to release and say, no, I need to establish healthier boundaries. You've reached your breaking point is what I see here. And now you're applying new ways of what you know in order to streamline your life in some way. Also, I feel like you're eager to embrace more abundance, and you are going to be in a wealth attracting energy. So you're manifesting more, and you're also working towards a lifestyle that you are trying to achieve, and you will manifest all that you desire. You got the King and the Queen of Pentacles there. So if you're manifesting a high level commitment relationship, there is a secure one coming in, and you'll marry that person, Also, if you are currently going through a divorce, I feel like there is a settlement coming in, but more than anything, I feel like you just want the pressure of it to be over because it's taken a long time. For some of you, you're actually leaving a work environment to become independent, set up your own independent practice, or you're moving into a different partnership where you have more responsibility, more status, and more money there as well. But ultimately, I feel this is a month where you are learning about what you like. The movies that you like, the places that you like to frequent with. I have an incredible friend who told me that they go to dinner on a certain evening, and they take themselves to dinner I think it's each month or each week, I can't really remember now, and it's their quality time, and they do it every month without fail. They go to the same place, they have the same meal. It's like a little ritual that they're doing for themselves. And I feel that's you looking at things that you really love and having like little rituals where you go, you know what, this is me, and I love this, and I'm unique in that. And there's a sense of comfort there as well. Now, we do have the Eight of Cups and the Four of Cups. This really indicates that something has been, a little bit off, or you are kind of fed up with something, or there's apathy there. You're feeling unfulfilled in some area of your life, but the universe is coming along to surprise you. There is a wonderful thing to celebrate at the end of April. Actually, I see it's the third week of April for you. They're giving me the number 3, so I'm feeling it's the third week. Eight of Cups is like changing direction, or withdrawing in order to focus on where you need to go next. It's also a card of learning from your past in order not to repeat any patterns. It can also indicate someone from your past tries to return into your life, and I definitely see that happening here for you. I mean, more than anything, I feel it is someone that you're tempted to connect to, but it never seems to work. I feel like you have like an honest, open conversation, and I feel like you can kind of make it work long term, but I feel like there needs to be an honest address, people taking accountability for their actions. But I feel some toxic behaviors have not been fully healed, so I feel there could be a cycle of repeat there. Ultimately, your outcome is like you're walking away from it because some things just never change, and I feel like you're looking at your sense of value, and you're walking away from anybody who does not value your time, your energy, your love, the effort that you make. I feel like you're just done, okay? So I feel there's an energy here of walking away. Now, also the Eight of Cups is an energy of having to decide between something that you love doing or security, okay? So an example of that is you may be looking at real estate during this time and find 2 properties that you think, wow, I would love to live there. But one of the properties is like, okay, it's nice, it's in my budget, it's in my price range, and I'd love to live there, but it's not this one. This one's amazing. I really want to live at this one. So your heart may be taken by one property, and the other one, you know, it's more affordable. So you may have to choose between whether your heart leads the way and you get like a bigger mortgage, for example, or you pay out more money if you're a cash buyer, if you're lucky enough to be one of those. Who's one of those in these days, apart from the super rich? But, you know, it could happen. So, you know, it's you deciding which one you're going to choose. Are you going to be logical and choose one that is the best, like, for you long term, or are you going to go with your heart? I mean, the heart always wins, but you're not going to put yourself out of pocket, or you're not going to put yourself at a disadvantage. So some of you are actually going to make a big decision this month regarding like a head over heart kind of moment. And, you know, the universe is actually going to come along and surprise you. And what I mean by that is if these 2 properties are on offer, right, and this one's really expensive and you really want this one, but you can afford this one without overstretching yourself, there's a little bit of a pause with that Hangman. Suddenly you're going to see this property come down in price. And then you may be like, ooh, okay, now I really could make this work. So I feel there's just a little bit of a pause there, and it would work out for you. Now, I really want you to be aware of this 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups is a card of boredom in some area of your life. It could be that you're just fed up with people's behaviors or situations. Things never change, but the universe is delivering a surprise, something that's more rewarding. Now, this could be a new outlook, could be a new direction, a new option, whether it's a new role, new friendship, new relationship. It is something that is going to be emotionally fulfilling and very exciting. So you're walking away from something that no longer serves you, but straight into the arms of an opportunity that you're absolutely going to love. It's going to be different for everybody, of course, because you're all very individual. So whatever it is you've been hoping to achieve, I feel like there is some sort of restructure going on to make sure that you accomplish it and reach it. So you're going to feel really fulfilled there as well. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but your money is staircasing. So we've gone from the 7 to the 8 to the 9 of Pentacles. So there's definitely an increase in your finances here. This is you working towards being financially independent. It's hard, but you know, I feel like you're powering on through. You're going to make it happen. Also, if you're thinking about retiring during this time, some of you may be feeling a little bit worried about retirement, but I actually feel like you've got this. I feel that, you know, ultimately, there is nothing to worry about. I mean, the 5 of Pentacles is there as well. So it really means that, you know, you are maybe worried about finances. Of course, there's money coming in, but there will be money coming out. That's just life. And whenever money, it's really interesting because they're showing me this, it's like if you have a pile of money and you just keep it there in a little vault and do nothing with it, it becomes stagnant, okay? That money, it's of course security, but it's just there. But if you do something with it, like, I don't know, like put it into real estate, or you put it into an account that has like interest there, you compound it, it increases. You know, just like everything in life, there has to be a flow, okay? So I feel like you're looking at the flow of life, just like yourself. If you feel like you're stagnant, you're in a position and you feel like nothing is happening, you need to restructure in order to be in the flow, to make space for new opportunities. So financially, some of you are being able to do that. You know, 5 of Pentacles, whenever I go to it, I keep hearing, and you know, it's very interesting. I'm hearing, you know, the theme tune to Super Mario? Maybe I'm just showing my age there. I don't know if it's still going or whatever, but I'm just hearing like the Super Mario theme tune, okay? And whenever I think about that, of course it's a game, but you know, life they say is a game, but it's a really hard game. I don't find it like a game, it's difficult. So what I am getting though is it's like there's different levels or stages, and there's lots of obstacles in the way to get to the path to your goal. So I feel like some of you have been dealing with that. But whenever I'm coming over to the 5 of Pentacles, what I'm feeling, and this is not going to resonate for all of you, It's going to resonate for some of you. I'm getting an energy of a plumber, right? So some of you, you may have like a surprise bill to deal with in the month of April where you need a plumber. I hate giving that message, but it's coming out. Some of you may have just dealt with that. It may have shocked you and you're now trying to recoup. But I mean, Super Mario is really about powering up along the way. It's about, overcoming obstacles or pitfalls and, saving the day or reaching your goal and, helping someone along the way. So I definitely see that you're going to reach your goal. But for some of you, I see that there may be something to do with a plumber, or, it could be that you need to fix something in the month of April. It doesn't have to be a plumber, but because they're giving me Super Mario, I think they used to be plumbers before they then went off on this other journey of discovery. That could also apply. It could be that you've been doing something for a long time and suddenly you are deciding to plot twist your own life. If you've been an accountant for years, suddenly you may decide to be an actor, or you want to, set up your own independent practice because you're really intelligent and really acutely talented at what you do. You've come as far as you can and you're deciding to, branch out on your own. It could be that you're making some sort of major change that other people are not expecting from you, and suddenly they're going to be surprised. But you're like, you know what? I'm marching to the beat of my own drum. I'm independent, making my own decisions, and I will not adhere to your expectations. I also feel like any changes you're making, you are being responsible in those changes. So I see that you've done your due diligence, you've done your investigation before you change whatever it is you set out to. But the Nine of Pentacles is to enjoy your money. It is to, have financial gain. It is also a card of, living a life of luxury, which I feel like you are either doing now or headed towards. I definitely see that you will master your finances and you will be very self-sufficient. There is financial gain there. That's what a Nine of Pentacles indicates. But with all the cards that you've got, it also highlights caution when it comes to finances. So I feel like you are keeping an eye on those finances and making sure that you're secure in your position. This is like creating a budget or a plan and having self-control over your finances. It's almost like you may be keeping money to save for your pension or for your spending goals. Some of you may be saving up to purchase something big. So it may take like a whole chunk of your money, but it's something that you wanted to purchase. So I feel like you're being stricter with yourself. Ultimately, I see whether you're in a career or not, you're sticking to your plans and you're trusting that those plans unfolding is exactly what you intended to do. And I feel like you will reach your goal there as well. Also, some of you are working towards independent living or living off grid or living off the land in some way. And I feel like you will reach your goal. Now, we actually have two fives here, a Five of Swords and a Five of Pentacles. Two of them together as an outcome, it can indicate that worry or, over anxious energy can make you feel unwell. Okay, so just watch out for that. I've already sort of mentioned that, especially before you go to sleep. But the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, definitely safeguard yourself and your immune system during this time because there is a potential to get a seasonal cold. With the Five of Pentacles, it can indicate things have been difficult. And the Five of Swords is like, it's caused some stress. And for some of you, you could have been promised something in your work environment or promised something in a benefit system or promised something by your family and they let you down and you're fed up of being constantly let down by the system or constantly being let down by people that you trust. But I do see that the universe is stepping in to send you a lifeline, to send you an opportunity. And actually, I see this independent nature, especially when it comes to like family members. I feel like, you're showing your independence. Like, you know what? I trusted you or I relied on you because you always trust and rely on me. But when I needed something, you weren't there. And, I sorted myself out. But I want you to be aware that, I'm kind of like done with this behavior if it is a repetitive cycle. Like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes, people can't be there for us because they've got their own stuff going on. There can't always be reciprocal energy. We all know that. That's not life. But if you're constantly there for someone, a friend, and they're just like constantly taking and never giving back, even if it's time, attention, the most valuable thing is time. So if they're just not giving you the time of day or the respect that you deserve, I definitely see you detaching and stepping back there as well. Also, some of you, doubt tends to sabotage some of your ideas. So I feel like you're being given a bit of a nudge in terms of having more confidence in the month of April, and something that you've been trying to accomplish. It has been a challenge, but you're not giving up. And I feel like you are almost like choosing a different perspective or a different way of approaching it, and you forge away, because you have the Hangman here, which is to reflect. But also, because we've got the Tower there, some of you may feel like your world has been turned upside down, or that you want to shake things up a little bit so that things are, completely different. And the Hangman indicates you're learning something about what you want that benefits you long-term and brings long-term peace there as well. Now, the Hangman, some of you may have been dealing with some selfish people, but things will work itself out. I get a sense here that anything that's been stagnant starts to move in the right direction. And I feel that you've been going through some of these experiences that have been difficult in order to gain wisdom. You tend to self-sacrifice a lot for people. You tend to go above and beyond for people. And I really get a sense here that you're not going to change yourself because they are not stepping up. But I feel like you're just balancing your reactions a little bit more to create healthier boundaries. And the Seven of Wands is a card of boundaries. So I do feel like you're establishing those boundaries. But also the Seven of Wands is a really interesting card because it indicates that, you are at your personal best. So if you are going for an interview or an appraisal this month, or you're going to a very important meeting regarding something that you really want, you are above the competition and you will reach your goal. Okay, so maintain your position, have confidence in yourself. But also, this is a card of stress. It can indicate things have been frustrating, especially delays, but I feel like you're learning to manage those stress levels. And some of you may even notice that some of the triggers, if you have been unwell, like maybe like if you've had a rash, or if you've been having palpitations, for example, you may have noticed that some of these things are stress related. Of course, if you're worried about anything, go and see a practitioner, okay? Someone who is in a position to help you, because I'm not medically trained, but I see that some of you may go and visit someone who can give you an idea of what's been going on. It may just be hormonal, or it could be that you've been under a lot of pressure and it's been triggering some things, but I feel these things will get resolved for you. Now, also the Seven of Wands, it's a card of being independent, not conforming, living life on your own terms and marching to the beat of your own drum. You do things differently and you're not a people pleaser. So I definitely see that, you are moving away from either a group of people or a situation where you want to be true to yourself and you know what you must do. You're listening to your inner self, your higher self, and you're yearning for something. I feel like you're yearning to break free from something, a monotonous pattern or a way of life that has just become a little bit stale or stagnant, and you're taking the power back and you're taking action to make those changes. Now, there is success here. There is a lucky break coming in for you. We've also got a Three of Pentacles there. Three of Pentacles, for some of you, this could be, banding together in a group scenario, meeting like-minded people, soul tribe members. But also the Three of Pentacles is really like building on solid foundations, being dedicated to change your life, making changes that become tangible. Things are taking shape before you, and you will be proud of your efforts. And I feel like you're the architect of your dreams. Sometimes when it comes to finances, because there are a lot of pentacles in your chart, it's like easy come, easy go. So you're keeping a tight rein on your finances. And I also feel like this is you dedicated to your projects. You're making coordinated efforts to make your dreams become a reality, and you're prioritizing at this time. If you've been working in a very toxic environment, or you have had some difficulties in the family unit, you'll actually notice that people start to work together at the end of April. There just seems to be a common ground where people, they really take stock of the drama and think, it's not worth it. Let bygones be bygones. That energy is coming through there as well. But Three of Pentacles, I feel like there is money that you'll be able to save this month, and I feel like some of you are saving up for a large purchase. I mean, we got the Wheel of Fortune at the end of the month, which means a lucky break. I see that there are two moments where you're going to have like good luck or success. One is the third week of April, and then right at the end of April, there is something really positive coming in that will shift your perspective, but also make you really celebrate. And I mean, this card is a card of winning. It's a card of being on the up. It's a card of changing your life for the better. And, fortune favors the brave. And you got that Seven of Wands there. So I definitely see that there is a turning point for you. Something that you may have felt was risky. It works in your favor, but you did the due diligence before you actually attached yourself to it. So you're not rushing into anything. I feel like you're protecting yourself. You're being really savvy and clever in all your endeavors. And I feel like your projects are coming to fruition. So we have high on life. We have freedom. As I said, I feel like you're breaking free from something. It's really interesting that even a different deck is giving you the same energy. Loneliness and transformation. It's really interesting. Sometimes when we change our mind or change our mindset and people just don't understand, they almost detach from you, like they say, you've changed. When you're actually saying, no, I'm living life on my own terms. The fact that you cannot accept that means you need to change, because this is my life and I'm living the way I want to. So we've got extremely happy with life, living life to the fullest, and excitement and happiness. And I feel this is something you're trying to get more of. I mean, why wouldn't you be? But I definitely see that some of you are changing your vibrations. And of course, there's a cat there, which is all about independence. And I feel like you're attaching yourself to a wish or a goal. It will come true for you. We've also got freedom. Okay, and it says here, power to do what you want, celebrating your independence, and nothing can stop you. Seven of Wands is unstoppable energy. You can go the distance. So whatever it is that you are moving towards, you will accomplish your goal, and you'll be really proud of yourself, and you will have your needs met. We've also got loneliness there, okay? Now it says here, walking a lonely path, feeling deserted, neglected, no support system. Things will change at the end of the month, as I said there. People will start to work together a little bit more. If you are like an entrepreneur and you work for yourself, it can be isolating. So some of you may actually search out like co-working spaces or do some networking events in order to meet like-minded people. As I said, if you are, retired, you may be looking for your soul tribe. And also remember, if you're in a career and you're moving into a leadership position, it's lonely at the top, but this is the path that is destined for you. It can be hard, but it will be rewarding in other ways. And the right people will stick by your side. Also, we have transformation, okay? Now, of course, snakes, shedding old skin. This could be old patterns, old habits, bad habits. I feel like, there is a renewed, revitalized sense of self here. It says undergoing a dramatic change. And that's why you had that tower. Separating from old life and the dying of the false self. Okay, so that's really like you being super honest with yourself and, making the changes that are necessary that are going to benefit you long term. The tower, it comes along and it makes things feel uncomfortable. And the universe, it works in a way where it makes you feel so uncomfortable that you must change. Because if circumstances did not become uncomfortable, you would stay where you're at. And you are meant to move forward and evolve. So sometimes circumstances, they become that uncomfortable, so you have no other option but to change. And I feel like you're in that transition right now. They want me to go again, so there we go. Okay, so if you need to break the rules, do it with conviction to make a difference. Now, I'm not saying go out there and break some rules, right? But I am saying that you have very maverick energy. You're marching to that beat of your own drum. You're doing things differently. So sometimes people expect things of you and you're like, you know what, I'm done with that. So I definitely see that you may shock some people in your changes or your decisions, but that's okay. This is your life, and some people are just not capable of taking the journey that you are, and they're not, going to reach the heady heights that you are as well. So it's okay to leave them and move forward without them there. We've also got do not give up because something did not work out right away. Okay, so I feel that you'll be revisiting something in the month of April. I mean, this could be a project. It could be an idea. For some of you, it's a relationship. Okay, we definitely have something from your past will resurface. It's okay to revisit. So with that Judgment card, that's a card of second chances. So some of you may revisit something and make it right, okay, or perfect it in some way without going into perfectionism territory. We've also got to rise up, you must let go of fear. So, you know, fortune favors the brave, and I definitely see you're on track to make something become your reality that is truly wonderful indeed, and you will really be proud of yourself because you did this all by yourself. Now, I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we close. Now, I'm just going to look at this in a moment, but remember that computer game, Super Mario Brothers, I think it's called, or Super Mario maybe. You may see like logos, or you may see a reel of it, or you may even hear the theme tune. This is an indication that you're going to reach your goal on something and celebrate. It was a challenge to get there, but you reach your goal. So listen out for that, or look out for the signs. You could be walking down the sidewalk and see a big billboard. Maybe they're doing like a revamp of it or something, or maybe there's a movie of it or something, and you'll remember this reading. You're going to reach your goal. Okay, now we also have, oh, interesting, we have the symbol of tarot. So some of you I feel like you've booked a tarot reading with a reader, and it's not through this one. I feel like you may have one booked in the month of April, or a slot becomes available for one, or some of you are just going to be walking in a new neighborhood and be drawn to a tarot reading in the neighborhood. This person really has something very interesting to say, and there's a lot of truths there as well. So, but also some of you may be actually learning tarot to help you with your spiritual development, or you may be even using it as a way of life to earn a living, perhaps, or helping people in some way. You have natural gifts anyway, so it may be something that you're going to be doing. But the stars and the moon energy, it's like to look at your shadow self to help you make your dreams become a reality. So I definitely see that there's also healing through tarot as well. Some of you may have just bought yourself a first deck and be delving into it, because it really helps with the psyche of the human as well. So it's all about the journey of life. So it will benefit you in some way. So interesting that that one came out there. Some of you may be taking a course in it, or you've just finished a course in it, and now you're like getting out there in the world and doing what you do best. So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates in that reading for you, my beautiful Taurians. If it does, please like or subscribe to my channel. Completely free for you. All you have to do is press a little bell that lets you know when I update my next message. It lets me know that you resonate with the reading, which is so important for me too. Thank you so much, my beautiful Taurians, and love and light.